Raiders, we just got the craziest faction unity champion in Raid Shadow Legends. Welcome to the channel, everyone. I'm Skratch, and as I mentioned, we got a brand new champion. I am currently on the test server, guys. The patch, I think it will only drop on a Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. This faction unity champion, guys, is going to be the best so far out of all of the factions, at least in terms of damage dealers. Now, we do have a couple of different champions as well, but let me just quickly show you the new faction unity champion. We're gonna do a guide on this bad boy today because he's absolutely crazy. When you're gonna see the damage, you're gonna be like, pretty much like that. So, with A1, a double hitter, the ally with the highest crit damage will team up and join the attack. The ally joining the attack will use their default skill. The damage dealt by this champion and the ally joining the attack will be increased by 10% for each debuff on the target, stacking up to 100%. Then, of course, you have the A2 attacks one enemy 3 times. Each hit will ignore 10% of the target's defense for each debuff on the target, stacking up to 50%. Each hit will also increase this champion's attack by 10%, stacking up to 50%. Grants an extra turn if this attack kills an enemy. Then you have the very first skill that is basically affected by the faction unity. Attacks all enemies before attacking. Places a 50% increased attack and an increased crit damage on this champion for 2 turns. Places an extra hit on enemies under any debuffs, which is very, very nice. Then, will ignore strengthen, ally protection, and shields if you have one faction unity champion in. 2, if enemies are killed by this skill while under a debuff, places a block revive debuff on them if you have 2 faction allies. And 3, deals 20% more damage for each debuff on each enemy, stacking up to 100%. Now, just think about the Hydra clan boss and what this can actually do if you have the right team. With one ally has a chance to counterattack whenever an ally is attacked by an enemy under a debuff. If there are multiple champions on the team with this skill, this effect will only activate once. 2 allies decreases the damage this champion receives from enemies under debuffs by 50%, and the damage allies receive from enemies under debuffs by 20%. 3 allies, he is immune to sheep debuff. Very, very, very strong because are all allies, guys. Now, that is something very strong for PvP. At the moment, I'll be very honest, it's extremely hard to make a team filled with Lizardman champions for PvP. Not impossible, but very hard. You do have Lazarius, which pairs extremely well with him, and I'm positive that in the future we are going to get some other OP champions, seeing what we are getting from this champion. The aura increases allies' attack in all battles by 30%, increases allies' accuracy in all battles by 40%, but only applies to Lizardman. Pretty good base stats all around. I'm quickly going to show you the other 2 champions that we're getting, guys, and then we're going to dive into the guide. I'm not going to read all of the skills for the other ones. I'm just kind of like going to give you my take on it. If I'm not mistaken, we have an Ogryn, Diamant. That means diamond in my language. So he's a support Void legendary champion. He looks pretty badass. I'm not very impressed with his kit. You have speed aura for all battles. AoE attack, you're getting a healing. Attacks all enemies, increases the duration of buffs. Gets some turn meter. Then places 3 intercept stacks on a target ally, increase resistance and strengthen on a 3-turn cooldown. That's a nice skill, don't get me wrong. Then, right here, has a 50% chance to convert a debuff into a buff before it is placed on this champion. That's about it. That's what he can do. Now, just having the intercept, I just don't think, in my opinion, that is worthy enough to be a Void legendary champion. I gotta say it, they really are diluting the Void pool recently with a lot of average-ish champions. We got a good one last time. I forgot her name, Yinchenza or something like that, right? She's pretty nice. But other than that, I feel like they're pretty underwhelming in terms of what Void champions they're bringing, you know? A decent champion is not something that I would crazily love to summon, putting it like that. Then we have a new Mythical. We have Commodus from the Demon Spawns. This is the champion that most probably will empower Carnage, guys. So basically, he is a weird one, okay? Let me just put it out there. He's a weird one. He looks like a devil. And the first form is support. Decreases the target's defense, which is nice. Steals turn meter. Block active skills. Steals more turn meter. Removes all buffs, which again is pretty nice to have this skill. Pairs really nice with Carnage. This one steals 100% of the target's turn meter and puts the target skills on cooldown, but only attacks one enemy. This is nice. Then the passive, whenever the champion loses HP in a single turn, deals damage to the attacker equal to 30% of this champion's max HP. So think about it in the following way. Let's just say you build him with 120k HP or 100k HP. Then you have a Georgie that has 30k HP. Attacking this champion, Georgie will die after. Or on paper, it should die after, you know, because the 30% of his total HP will exceed the value of the nuker's HP. But of course, I'm talking about squishier nukers. So it's a pretty interesting passive. Then the reason why I said is a weird one. This is a HP-based form. And my god, he looks so freaking evil. He's a bomb champion. Damage based on HP. Now, I'm very curious to see how this will play out. I haven't tested him just yet, but I will definitely look into it to see how effective he is going to be. You have bombs right here. Instantly detonates the bombs on enemies with stone skin, which is very, very nice. You give him an intercept buff, and bang, you bomb the enemies, instantly drop them down. So it can be pretty nice if it has good multipliers, and if it can put enemies to sleep instantly. If they don't die, they're gonna get stunned, which is very, very nice. So I do think it's a nice skill. Places weaken, grants an extra turn. So again, you do need a lot of intercepts on him to ensure that he's not gonna get instantly polymorphed. I do think that he has the potential to just go crazy. The weaken can be placed on stone skin though, so that's a bit of a problem, you know. And 100% chance to reflect all bomb debuffs placed on this champion back to the attacker. So that's a very nice passive too if you're going against champions that will bomb you too. So these are the 3 new legendary mythical champions coming to the game. But let me just quickly walk you through the build that I have on Legate Teox. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that name right. He does look pretty badass. I actually love the design. It gives me a bit of a Nekmotar sort of vibe in here, but he just looks way more evil than that. Love the banner on his back. So I have him built on a Savage and Cruel, guys, but I do have pretty crazy stats considering that I have no blessing on him. So almost 8,000 attack, 206 speed, full crit rate, 312 crit damage. Now, one thing that I like about him, if you debuff the enemies, he's gonna gain Termiter and quickly cut on the rest of the champions. So that's a pretty awesome touch. In terms of masteries, we went with Helm Smasher S tier 6, defense 3. We don't need the accuracy on him. He's not really gonna debuff, but I'm very curious to see what damage can do. We're gonna try him in arena and in the Hydra clan boss, where he's most probably going to blow our mind. As usual, we're gonna test him on stage 23 on the Dragon Slayer. That's where we're basically kind of like usually testing all of the champions. So we made a benchmark for it, so we kind of like have an idea of how well the champions perform. I will bring him in 3 lizards in here. We have Ramantu, we have Lazarius, and we have Dracomorph. Now it's gonna be pretty hard to debuff all the enemies without having him to cut in, because he gets a lot of Termiter for each debuff. So most probably he's going to cut on the rest of them. Yep, instantly. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to go in with the A1 to be able to apply more debuffs. You see, we have the ally with the highest crit damage joining in the attack in here. What I'm going to do next, I'm going to apply more debuffs. There we go. I'm going to keep it like this. Or actually, you know what? Let's put more debuffs. So we have a lot of debuffs right now, okay? I wanted guys to really pay attention to what you're about to see, because it's going to be absolutely crazy, okay? So we're going to use this skill. He's going to buff himself with increased attack and increased crit damage. He's going to deal 20% more damage for each debuff on the enemy, stacking up to 100. So we're going to max that. Check this out. Tons of damage, and the second hit did not even went in. And we block the revive on everybody. That's extremely busted, to be honest with you guys. So what I do want to see is when we are getting at the boss, what sort of damage we're going to deal there. The animation is pretty cool on him too. So let's check the A2 right here. 1-6, 1-3-4, extra turn, move over to the A1. 39, 40k, no defense down, no weaken. The ally with the highest crit damage joining in. More damage for each debuff. Let's actually buff. Do we have some debuffs? We do have some debuffs available. Beautiful, beautiful. Raman to go in with the A1. Decrease the cooldown of the skills. And right here, we're going to go again in with the A3. Look at that damage. 400k and block the revive. And you still have 1 hit, guys. You can still have 1 extra hit, which is crazy. 1 extra hit, which is crazy. So it's no point to use Ramantu's A3 here. I will try to basically land defense down and weaken in a second. So we're going to go with the A1 first. 64, 45k. Come on, Draco. Come on, Draco. Or actually, forget about Draco. We have Ramanto right here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 6, 7 debuffs. Okay, so we're going to go in with this skill. This will basically ignore 10% of the target's defense for each debuff, up to 50%. With the Savage set and Cruel, and if Helm Smasher procs, we're going to ignore 100% of the target's defense. Plus, we are increasing our attack by 10%. So let's actually head in there. 117, 171, 166. Pretty solid damage. Let's use that from Draco to reduce the damage that we are dealing on the boss. Let's apply more debuffs, because right now we're about to just go ham with the A3. Buff, even though we don't need to buff because he's bringing his own increased attack and increased crit damage, which really makes him amazing. So double hit. 720, 686k on the boss, guys. That's crazy good damage. I feel like in the Hydra clan boss, he's literally going to blow our mind. He's literally going to blow our mind in the Hydra clan boss. So let's debuff again so we don't deal damage with Draco. We want to deal damage with him with a basic skill. 490k. I'm loving that. I am loving that. 4 million from Teox, guys. That is a lot of damage. Now, in the Hydra clan boss, we can use Krisk, we can use Lazarius, and probably I'm going to use Dracomorph to apply defense down, to be honest with you guys. I'm just very curious to see what sort of numbers he's going to kick in there. Then we're going to do Arena. This is the team that we're going to run, guys. We have 3 lizards next to him, so we're fully going to take advantage of his kit. We have Val the Destroyer, we have an ally attack champion, we have Padraig in here, and the highest crit damage champion in my team, of course, is going to be Val the Destroyer. He deals crazy damage with a basic skill, so it just makes sense to keep him like that. This is brutal difficulty. Let's see what we can actually expect from here. So we're going to put defense down and weaken with Draco. Not the best champion to get that job done, but hey, we're going to have to make it work with him. I'm still not going to use his A3 just yet. Instead, I'm going to go with the A2 on the head of Decay. So let's see what we're getting from that. I still need to buff the increased attack, but I want to preserve that A3. So right here, I'm going to put block buffs quickly to get that job done. We're going to do an ally attack here. I'm pretty convinced that if he counterattacks, he's not going to basically get another champion to join his attack if he counterattacks or ally attacks. Can we place the provoke? Yes, we can. The fear is pointless. Let's do that. So we apply more debuffs. We have the decreased attack too. And right now, I feel like I'm prepared to go in with the A3, guys. Let's see. Ow! That is very solid damage. These are non-decapitated heads, guys. And we got like 800k with his A3 on the head of Decay. And I wasn't trying to rhyme here, but it's actually pretty good damage. So we can apply poison on some of the heads. Of course, not all of them will be able to get the poison debuff on, but the more debuffs we apply, the better. And I feel like once the heads are decapitated, we're going to see some mind-blowing numbers from the champion. I cannot wait to see it. Look at the A1. The A1, 273, 192. That's a lot of damage. That's definitely a lot of damage on a non-decapitated head. And from here on, we can actually take him down with a basic skill. Then we're going to use the A3 on the head of Mischief. But first, I kind of like want to kill the head of Torment. So let's try our luck. A1. A lot of weak hits because we are using Spirit Champions. It is what it is. Come on, Draco. You can put in a bit of work too. Lazarius, you can put in some work too. So Padraig, extra turn, maybe we can get a cleanse. Beautiful, so we get rid of that fear. As you may notice, I don't have a different champion to kind of like help me out in here with the Head of Torment. I feel like it's unnecessary if we're quickly going to kill them. And I wanna preserve the defense down and weaken from Dracomorph, just so I can use them once the heads are decapitated. And Head of Mischief, you're going down. 232, 241, 334k. Pretty damn solid. So let's apply some more debuffs. We have decreased attack. We have weaken. Let's try to do an ally attack on the head of Suffering. Maybe we're going to get close to kill it. Or try at least. Extra turn. What are we getting? No, we don't need that just yet. Come on. Put more debuffs in here. Look at that. but we don't have defense down just yet. I don't necessarily think that we... Actually, we do need it for the 8-3. We don't ignore defense with this skill. So let me don't forget about that part, you know? If we want to boost the damage, we got to ignore the defense. So we got to put decrease defense first. So let's go on this head. 816, 1.1 million with the basic skill. Basically, is equaling Val the Destroyer with the basic skill. That is very, very disgusting. Very, very disgusting. I cannot wait to use that 8-3 now. So Val the Destroyer bringing in 2 million with the A3. Of course, his passive did not stack just yet. We are stacking his attack. That was the basic skill, 3.2 million damage. I want this champion. I really want this freaking champion so bad. So let's pay attention to this damage. Wow! Wow! We just got like 5 million. 5 million if you combine both of the hits only on the head of Decay. Plus, I don't know how many millions on the rest of the heads. Without a doubt, the best faction unity champion in the game so far. Because this can elevate your Hydra clan boss to the next level. The damage that you can achieve with this champion in the Hydra clan boss will absolutely challenge a lot of the top damage dealers. Will 100% out damage Taras, which is one of the top damage dealers in the entire game. And yeah, this will be very, very solid. And I feel like we are very close to stack. I think we stacked the attack from his A2, if I'm not mistaken, though. Look at that. Look at that. 2.7, 2.8 million damage with a basic skill. With the basic skill. This one, the A2, again, 3 million damage with the A2. So he's only talking in millions, guys. He's only talking in millions, this champion. Absolutely insane. Now, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Are you guys a fan of this new faction unity champion? Because personally, I am a massive, massive fan. I really hope I'm going to pull him. I'm already using Krisk and Lazarius in one team. I can always drop that Venus for Dracomorph in the team and basically try and just take my damage to the next level. But the problem that I have, I never summoned the faction unity champions, ever. I haven't got any of them just yet. Look at that damage. Look at that damage. 2+ million, 1+ million. We got 3+ millions before. Very, very crazy. I'm going to let it go on auto a little bit just to kind of like see what we are getting. But we are on turn count 9 with 100 million damage on Brutal, guys. 100 million damage at boss turn count 9. Okay. So I'm going to leave it here, guys. Turn 30, 8 minutes in, 200 million damage. And you have Teox with 82 million damage. Absolutely crazy. Val with 56. Krisk with 46 because of the curse set that he has on. Teox, the most busted faction unity champion. And I love it. I freaking love it. Now, for Arena, it's going to be very hard to make a team full of lizards. I can definitely bring in 2 lizards with Lazarius. No questions asked. Have him as the support champion. I feel like I should maybe try and rebuild Lazarius for a situation like this where he's the support rather than the damage dealer and he becomes the main damage dealer in here. The main thing is it's going to be extremely hard to really get value, full value out of the champion. That's what I mean, full value, because let's be honest, he is a strong champion, but if you are looking at the other options that you have for this particular faction, you don't really have that many, you know. Let's just say I could build a resin super fast with accuracy to drop the thermometer on the enemies. Let's go OG back to 2019. Or we can use a Krisk in here to help us a bit more with the shield. And then I need another type of a champion in here. Maybe a lockout or something. Or rather than a lockout, I feel like we can go in with Armans, right? Armans can get the job done. Keep Lazarius in as the support. Him as the damage dealer. And we're not getting full advantage of his kit. He's still not going to be basically... he's not going to make all the team immune to Polymorph, which is a bit of a shame. Unless I bring in Ramantu. So if I bring in Ramantu, which we're going to do next round, then the whole thing changes. I'm going to be immune to Polymorph. And that can be very crazy. Having Ramantu, Lazarius, and him in the same team immune to Polymorph, I can only imagine what you can do during Platinum Arena Reset with a team that's fully immune to polymorph. You're absolutely going to demolish the enemy. It's just going to be so crazy. The only problem is you don't really have a lockout unless you kill somebody with Lazarius. So it's going to be a pretty interesting one. It's definitely going to be a pretty interesting one. So let's do that. Let's do that. And basically, I want to see what sort of damage he's going to do. So I'm going to try to apply as many debuffs as possible. I'm going to go in with this skill first to try and get that Duchess down. I don't have that increased attack, actually, but still, look at the damage. We actually dealt a serious amount of damage. We can put on an ally protection here, or we can always provoke with Krisk. But we're going to do that once we're going to be immune to polymorph, guys. That's the whole deal with this champion. Immune to freaking polymorph. 8-3. Block revive. I'm loving it. I feel like he's going to be such a strong champion for PvP as well, man. That block revive is just going to be so disgusting. Super disgusting. Super, super disgusting. And he is Spirit Affinity, which is very, very good too. So let's just say as an example that we are going to go against this team right here. And we are going to bring in Ramantu. Now, I don't have a lot of accuracy on him. So hopefully we're going to get a job done. And I'm supposed to basically not remove my lizards from here. I removed the wrong champion. So recently used first. Let's bring Krisk back in the play. Krisk is not the most effective champion for PvP anymore, but he used to be back in the day, you know. Okay, so he has a lot of stone skin. He got polymorphed. Right now we can do this. Is a 50-50 chance, of course, but guess what? We basically locked that UDK. So UDK is not an issue anymore. What we can do in here is basically to try and debuff more. We haven't removed the stone skin from Lazarius, which is a bit of a problem. My Lazarius is close to go down. So hopefully I'm going to kill that Frolny before. I'm going to go in with the 8-2. 1, 2, 3. Dead. Not blocking revive on him, but we gained an extra turn. So right now we're going to use the 8-3. Bang. Lazarius is back up and running. We're going to try to provoke. We provoke his Lazarius. We're going to apply some debuffs in here. And we are provoked as well, but I think I'm just going to Metamorph and wipe them with Lazarius instead. So you can make some sort of a team like this. I feel like once they're going to bring in another Lizard that's going to be a bit more effective than Krisk, probably the next Mythical, I feel like we're going to have a solid team. Ramantu blocking the passive on everybody, or at least attempting to remove the buffs, the stone skin, before the nuker goes in, is going to be massive, guys. Next, we're going to go versus El Piero, so we can get polymorph. That's the beauty of it. And I feel like this is going to change quite a few things in the meta. And I can already see so many Krakens going to get a +4 on this champion in the very first 1 week. Look at that. Beautiful. Nobody gets polymorph. We blocked the passives. We blocked everything. Right now, we can potentially apply more debuffs, because why not? So we get more damage. That Taras managed to nuke us, but we instantly wiped him off. And right now, we're going to do this. Block revive. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Let's buff a bit to get a bit of extra support in here. Let's apply some pressure on that Taras. Let's boost the Thermitter. We drop the Thermitter on him. Right now we can just do this. One hit, we put him to sleep. We are decreasing the attack on our champion, but that's fine. He will... I thought that Python will revive Taras, but I just forgot that he did it before. And block revive again. Very, very, very strong champion, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. As I mentioned, expect to have a Prism Crystal event for this champion. I can already see all of the Krakens in my clan and in other clans going to get a +4 on this champion, and how impactful he will be in PvP and how powerful he is in PvP, especially in the Hydra clan boss. That was all for the video. Much love. If you enjoyed the content, make sure you smash a like, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment, help with that YouTube algorithm. Appreciate all of you guys watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.